Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and here is this another episode of me just traveling into this video at 11 p.m. because apparently that's when all my detox decide to surface. So grab your chai or your late night snack or whatever is keeping you awake right now because we need to have one of those conversations. You know, the ones where you're lying in your bed at 3 a.m. questioning everything about your life? Yeah, that's us. Okay, so here's what happened. A few months back, I did this something absolutely unhinged. I deleted Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, the whole digital circus for 30 days. And no, this wasn't some answer in lifetime now spiritual awakening version. No, I was just tired of feeling like my life was a discount version of everyone else's highlight reel. And let me tell you something. The first week I felt like I was missing a limb. Like I got myself reaching for my phone approximately 1,000 times a day. And I would open my camera roll and just stare at it. Absolutely. I mean, I just stare at it. But then, absolutely. I think also absolutely. But here's where it gets interesting. By week two, something weird started happening. I stopped measuring my day by how Instagram worthy it was. Like I ate my lunch in a cafe without photographing it, and I know it's kind of revolutionary, but it felt nice. And suddenly I realized how completely front-round perception of success must begin. We are out here thinking success looks like having a shit together by 20, a perfectly curated feed, traveling to Goa every 3 weeks, having a skincare routine that costs most people's rent, and oh, the classic one, hustle culture, where sleeping is apparently for the week. But here's the plot twist. Nobody talks about. Most of that shit is either fake, funded by parents, or financed by credit cards debt that will haunt you till you're 40. Social media basically turned success into aesthetic. It's not about being happy, it's about looking happy. It's not about the financial stability, it's about looking rich. And we are all just participating in this weird performance where everyone's pretending their life is a movie and they are the main character. Damn. Like, when did having a regular job become something to be ashamed of? When did figuring your life out became wasting time? When did not having your entire future planned out by 25 became a personal failure? I spent 30 days without seeing anyone's success. And you know how? And you know what I discovered? I actually like my boring Sunday evenings. I like my small wins. I like not knowing exactly where I'll be in 5 years because plot twist, most successful people didn't either. Speaking of things that are completely screwed up, let's talk about money. Because apparently the education system thought teaching us Pythagorean theorem was more important than teaching us how not to die broke. Here's everything I had to learn about money the hard way, aka through panic attacks and Google searches up to me. First up, credit score. Your credit score. This little three-digit number that controls entire life. And yet nobody explains it until you ask. It's like a video game where you are planning, but nobody told you the rules. Here's what they don't tell you. Paying your bills on time is literally the easiest way to build credit. But also having no credit history is somehow worse than having bad credit. Make it make sense. I remember applying for my first loan and they asked how my credit score. And I was like, what is that? So turns out good percent isn't a credit score. Next, emergency funds. You know what an emergency fund is? It's basically a security blanket for adults. They save 6 months of expenses. Cool. With what money? After rent, student loans, and the basic human need to occasionally eat food that wasn't made in microwave. But here's the reality. Even saving 500 rupees a month is better than saving nothing. I literally started with 100 rupees a month because, anyways, then there is this compound interest, which is basically money making money, which sounds fake, but is actually the closest thing to magic that exists in the financial world. They teach us calculus. but not the fact that if you invest 1,000 rupees a month starting at 22, you'll have like a 2 crore by the time. But if you start at 32, you are looking at maybe 80 lakhs, same money, different times, and completely different life. I literally learned this from a random reel, like an Instagram link. And that's where I got my most valuable financial education. Let that sink in. Okay. And bro, don't even get me started on salary negotiations. We are taught that asking for money is rude. Meanwhile, your male colleague who started the same day as you is probably earning 20 to 30% more because he had the audacity to negotiate. And here's what I wish someone would have told you. Research your market value. Know what people in your position earn. And when they ask for your salary expectations, don't say whatever you think is fair. Don't say whatever you think is fair. That's not humility. That's just leaving money on the table. Next thing, insurance. Another thing they never explained. Health insurance isn't just for when you are old. It's for when you're 25 and you get food poisoning from that sketchy street food and end up in the hospital with a bill that costs more than your entire month's salary. I'll tell you, I learned this when my friend got dengue and the hospital bill was 80,000. 80,000 for being bitten by a small, little, tiny mosquito without insurance. She would have been paying that off for years. And the whole side hustle cut. Look, I get it. Multiple income streams sound great. But sometimes your side hustle should be learning to manage your main hustle better. Not burning yourself out trying to be a full-time employee, part-time entrepreneur, and somehow still have a social life. See, I tried having like 4 side hustles once. And you know what happened? I became really good at being a mediocre at everything instead of being good at one thing. So, after 30 days of detox and actually thinking about my life instead of comparing it to everyone else, here's what I have realized actual success looks like. Being able to pay your bills without anxiety. Having friends who actually know you, not just your online persona. Learning something new because you want it, not because it looked good on LinkedIn. Being okay with being boring sometimes. And having enough saved that an unexpected expense doesn't ruin your month. Actually enjoying your life instead of just documenting it. And I know it's revolutionary concepts, but these are the non-stated facts that no one's to tell you. And we talk about the drunken money experience for a second. Because that's a whole separate trauma, okay? We grow up hearing money doesn't grow on trees. But also, don't worry about money, just study. So we are simultaneously anxious about money and completely unprepared to handle it. Our parents sacrificed everything so we could have opportunities, which is beautiful, but also comes with this crushing pressure to be financially successful immediately. Like, sorry, mom and dad, I know you work 3 jobs so I could go to college, but apparently my degree in BCMC doesn't automatically come with a 50 lakh salary and a house in Gurgaon. It's something nobody talks about. The mental health cost of financial stress. We are told to prioritize our mental health, which is great, but therapy costs 3 to 4,000 minimum per session. Self-care costs money. Even the basic stuff, good food, exercise, hobbies, everything costs money. I spent months feeling guilty about spending money on therapy when I could be saving it. But you know what's more expensive than a therapy? Not dealing with your issues and letting them compound like it. Let's not forget dating in this economy. Who pays for what? Can you afford to date someone who wants to go to an expensive restaurant every weekend? Like, is it okay to suggest a coffee date instead of a dinner because your budget is tighter than your skinny jeans from 2019? I mean, okay. I went on this date once where the guy suggested a restaurant that costs 3 to 4,000 per person for lunch. Like, lunch. I spent the entire week calculating how many meals I could make at home for the same amount. It was more than meals. But here's the thing that social media really screws at. It makes you think everyone else has figured out the money except you. Your college friend posting about their investment portfolio at 24, your cousin buying a car, your school friend getting married and somehow affording a wedding that cost more than most people's annual salary. I mean, okay, but you know what you don't see is the student loans, the help from parents, the credit card debt, the stress, the sleepless nights, the panic attacks in grocery stores because you can't afford the brand of cereal you actually want. Social media shows you the purchase, not the price. The success, not the struggle. The highlight, not the hustle. Okay, so after all this ranting, here is some actual advice that will actually work. Start small. Don't try to revolutionize your entire financial life overnight. Pick one thing. Maybe it's tracking your expense for a week. Maybe it's opening a saving account. Maybe it's just acknowledging that you need to learn about money instead of pretending I will figure it out somehow. Use technology. Download apps that make managing money easier. There are apps that round up your purchases and save the change. Apps that help you track expenses. Apps that explain investing in terms and that don't require a finance degree. Have real conversation of money with your friends. Not in a comparing way, but in a let's figure this out together way. Share tips, share struggles, share resources. Question everything. Question every piece of financial advice. Invest in mutual funds? Okay, but which ones and why? Save money? Okay, but where and how much? Budget matter? Budget better? Okay, but what does that actually look like in practice? Except that you are learning, okay? You're not supposed to have it all figured out. Nobody does. Even people who seem like they have their shit together are probably just better at hiding their confusion. So, am I back on social media? Obviously, yes. But I use it differently. I unfollow accounts that make me feel like shit about that. I follow the accounts that actually teach me useful stuff. I remember that everyone's struggling with something. They are not just posting it up. And I remind myself that the most successful people I know personally, not Instagram famous, but actually successful, barely post about their lives. They are too busy in living. So, look, I'm not here to tell you to delete social media forever or that money doesn't matter. Money matters. It obviously matters. Financial stability matters. But so does your mental health. So does your happiness. And so does not burning yourself out trying to live up to the standards that were created to sell your shit you don't have to. The point isn't to not want things or to not have goals. The point is to make sure your goals are actually yours and not just what you think you should want based on what everyone else is posting. And when it comes to money, start where you are. Use what you can. Do what you have. Start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. Perfect is the enemy of good, and good is the enemy of getting started. Your life doesn't have to look like anyone else to be successful. Your timeline doesn't have to match anyone else to be valid. Your struggles don't have to minimize just because someone else seems to have it easier. You are doing better than you think you are. You are learning, you are growing, you are figuring out. And that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing in your 20s. That's my midnight rant for today. Let me know in the comments what money lessons you had to learn the hard way or what social media habits you have changed. And if this resonated with you, maybe share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, remember, your worth isn't determined by your net worth, but also learn about compound interest because that shit is much. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one.